Hello, and welcome to Data to Go, a video series created by NTT DATA's Data and Intelligence team, where we'll be sharing insights from the world of data strategy, data modernization, business analytics, and intelligent automation. Join us over a cup of coffee as we explore the exciting world of data. I'm one of your hosts, Malini, alongside my co-host, Jacob. Today, we have Annette Wright with us. Annette, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience in the industry?
Hello, everyone. My name is Annette Wright. I am located in the Mesa, Arizona area. And I've been with NTT for about 3.5 years now, working on projects across a variety of industries and projects. I do have about 30 years of experience in data management, though it pains me to even admit that many years. Everything from data warehousing back in the day, right? Financial, regulatory reporting, all the way through to data integration, master data management, data governance, data quality, pretty much anything with the word data in it. I've probably done it sometime in those last 30 years. While I've done it across a number of industries, data is common everywhere, right? I will admit governance and quality is usually my favorite projects to work as I've gone through the years. So that's where I tend to try to focus.
Awesome. Okay, so today's topic will be covering data strategy and governance. More specifically, we will discuss some of the current challenges that businesses are facing. We'll be discussing some various use cases that have improved client productivity within different industries and some personal experiences from within the firm.
So to kick things off, Annette, we're going to start with a few questions. First, can you kind of talk about what exactly data strategy and governance is? And then with that, can you talk about some of the tools that are used with data strategy and governance?
So data strategy and governance is all about providing a business confidence in their data, right? And being able to get the most value out of the data. Data is one of the highest assets, the highest value assets that a company has, usually second only to their resources and the people that they have that make the company run, right? So data is a hugely valuable asset, and they need to get the most out of it. And so by providing a strategy of understanding what data is important, how it's going to be governed, who is responsible, that provides kind of those guide rails for a company's data. From a tool perspective, strategy and governance is very tool agnostic, right? It's more about people and process and accountabilities and less about technology. And actually, in all honesty, less about data. So we tend to focus on those high level processes and people aspects of it, and less on the tool. Now, there are a number of tools out there for data governance that can facilitate all of that. And it's about matching those tools to a company's culture, to their architecture, to whatever from a technology perspective they have going on. But that's not where we start. That's not where you start.
Awesome. Yeah. With you saying that integrating tools can be kind of difficult and a challenge. Are there any other challenges that you face in this realm of work? And then kind of what are the keys for making NTT successful with our clients in data strategy and governance?
So the biggest challenge with strategy and governance is making sure you're talking to the right people at a client, right? For many years, strategy and governance was still driven by the IT organization. And so talking to CTOs or, technology leaders, CIOs, that type of stuff. But in reality, business owns the data, right? And governance and strategy should be a business-driven effort within a company. It's still a challenge today to get to the right audience and talk to the right people. The business folks know where the problems are. They know where the challenges are, and they don't have any trouble. They don't have any problem talking about it, right? But from my experience, governance implementations go wrong when they are IT driven. Not 100% of the time, but the number's up there, right? You have to have engagement and you have to have adoption from a business perspective in order to get strategy and governance programs successful, because they're the ones that live and die by that data every day, right? So that right audience is absolutely key.
So with all the clients that you've had experience with, what are some common pain points that you see pretty often, and what makes us different as NTT than other firms?
Great question. Very great question, Malini. So what we have found to be very successful in the last 3 years is coming in with a very practical assessment-based approach to start with organizations. In many cases, we get an inquiry of, oh, we need to do governance. Great. What's driving your need for governance, right? That's usually where we start. What is the thing? What is the pain point that you're experiencing? What is the problem that you're having? What are the complaints of your business people, right? What are the things that we can tie that governance work, because it is a disruptor to the organization. Implementing processes and accountabilities, right? And really looking very closely at how data is used and how data is created. So it can be very disruptive to the organization. But we have to have engagement from, we have to have active engagement from the business in order to make it successful and to make it run. So we usually start with an assessment and we get people talking, which is very rarely difficult. It's not difficult at all to get people talking about some of the current pain points or challenges that they're hearing or that they're having, whether it be access to data, whether it be understanding where data is coming from, how it's been created, even some of the definitions for metrics that are used for operational efficiencies, right? They know they have a problem. It's a matter of getting folks to commit to jumping in and helping solve the problem. So those assessments, we tend to be super practical. And that's kind of the thing that I have found where NTT is unique. We take a super practical approach to governance. Tell me some of your problems. Let's pick one and solve it, right? Whether it be identifying an operating model, a data steward, understanding processes, documentation, blowing open communication in the organization. But we get very focused on, show me the problem, let's solve it. Let's take the next problem, And so governance becomes a very organic, it becomes an organic program, right? You get quick wins, right? That can then be communicated and you get more people interested and engaged. And then it just tends to grow from there, right? Now, the whole fun thing is software stuff, right? Yes, there's usually software, but there doesn't have to be. It can be, to start out, a purely manual process. It's fine. It'll be fine. And then you can look as far as understanding what the culture is and the people and what methods work for a company, and every company is different. Then you can start looking at what software do we want to look at, how can we make this more efficient? Where are some automation opportunities, that kind of stuff. But we take a very practical approach. And that's, in my experience so far, that's worked successfully in the dozen or so governance implementations that I've worked on.
So as you just mentioned, like each client is very different. Is there a standard set of steps that you always take to address the challenges that come up, or does it vary mostly business to business, client to client?
The process is very consistent. The results are very unique to each client, right? So I talked about using that maturity model. Like I said, we do a series of workshops and try to get a more understanding of culture, a process, of communication, what's working well, what's not working well, and then we will map that into our maturity model. It's a scale of 1 to 5. I've never had anybody score above a 1 when we started, and 1 is pretty high, right? But like I said, it covers the gamut of data management. We do that scoring, give them an understanding of kind of where they are. Have to be very clear that this is not a competition. They're only competing with themselves as far as the scores go. And then lay out recommendations of how they can improve, especially in the areas where they're having the most challenges and where their business is seeing the most pain, essentially, from a data perspective. And we'll give a prioritized set of recommendations, including very practical next steps. I'm all about practical. Unfortunately, I've been on the corporate side of the world and had seen assessments and gotten a beautiful $1 million binder, but nothing that I can action. So we're very good. And this, to me, is one of the things that makes NTT exceptional, is that we try to be very practical. So they have things that they can do the day after to get started on resolving some of these issues. The key to governance is building a groundswell, right? We want to build it organically in the organization. We want to find some simple pain points or use cases that we can attack, lay in some basic process, identify some accountabilities, and then build on those successes, communicate those successes. And that will usually, in my experience, that gets more engagement. We get more groups that want to get involved. Oh, look, NTT fixed this stuff for the finance team. Maybe they can fix it for me in supply chain, right? And so we build on those successes across the company until governance becomes a bit of a, kind of a swell across the organization and we get more folks involved. And that's ultimately what we want to do, right? We're trying to make their lives easier. We're trying to improve their data. We're trying to improve the decisions that they're making. And that's really all we're trying to do.
Awesome. Annette, this has been really insightful. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us today. To all of our viewers, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to tune back in for our upcoming episodes for more data insights, Sip by Sip. Cheers.